Welcome to Socrates Beyond Time, a place where I share stories inspired by the thought-provoking spirit of the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates through slow, deep, and contemplative dialogues. In the series Socrates and the Masters of Persuasion, Socrates journeys across time to meet influential figures throughout history, engaging them in conversations that explore the true nature of persuasion, not merely as a technique, but as a way human beings connect with one another. Though these encounters are fictional, the spirit of Socrates and the insights revealed in each dialogue carry a timeless value, inviting us to reflect on how we think, speak, and influence others. If you'd like to explore this journey more deeply, you're warmly invited to visit socratesbeyondtime.blogspot.com, where these reflections continue, quietly yet meaningfully. There are encounters that do not aim to lift a person immediately, but begin from where they truly stand. When Socrates faces Halbert, persuasion no longer dons lofty ideals, but becomes raw, touching directly the instincts, the things people feel before they even think. One seeks what is right through reason. One goes straight to what is real in a person's first reflex. Between them, there is no opposition, only an unavoidable question. To reach a person, must we lift them up immediately? Or be honest enough to meet them at the most primal part of themselves? Los Angeles, a late night in the 1980s. A small room. A desk lamp pours light over a wrinkled sheet of draft paper. Outside, the city has not yet fallen asleep. The advertising world by then had learned to speak of brands, of image, of long-term positioning. Everything was becoming polished and polite. Halbert sits alone before a blank page. He does not ask how to sound noble. Another question moves within him. What truly makes a person reach for their wallet right now? He writes directly into the fear of missing out, writes into the desire to have more than others, writes into curiosity that refuses to sit still. No detours, no disguise. And in the moment he chooses to speak straight to instinct, a boundary is crossed. Persuasion no longer aims at the image people wish to become, but at the part of them that already exists. Sales letters begin to touch something primitive, and they produce results. An uncomfortable but honest realization spreads. Instinct, when called by its true name, has its own kind of power. Socrates stands behind him, slowly reading each line. He has long been accustomed to speaking with reason, with the noble part of the soul that rises toward the good. Now he wonders, very quietly, if philosophy speaks only to what is noble, who will dare to look at the rest? And when we touch instinct in order to influence others, are we illuminating it or exploiting it?
Are you not afraid of being hated?
Of course I am, but I fear being ignored even more.
Socrates studies the rough lines of text.
You call desire by its real name. You pull it into the light without dressing it in morality.
Because it still exists whether we name it or not.
In Athens, I asked people about the good, but you are whispering to instinct.
Because before people think, they feel, and before they feel, they react.
Socrates remains silent for a long moment.
Do you think you are lowering human beings?
No, I simply meet them where they truly stand.
Socrates steps closer.
But if you speak only to instinct, does it not pull people downward?
Halbert looks up, for the first time meeting his eyes.
Instinct pulls no one down. Only denying it leaves people controlled in the dark.
Socrates frowns slightly.
You do not wish to elevate humanity?
First, I want them to hear me.
Socrates suddenly understands. Philosophy often begins from the summit, calling people to climb upward. But this man begins from the depths, where life itself first formed.
You do not decorate things with greatness.
Because life was never created from elegant words.
Socrates exhales slowly.
Perhaps persuasion is not only speaking what is right, but speaking what is true to the part of a person that is listening.
Halbert smiles faintly.
And the first part that listens is always the oldest one.
Socrates turns away, not out of discomfort anymore, but because he has just learned something difficult to swallow. Gary Halbert was not polite, but he was honest. He reminds us that before human beings became philosophers, they were creatures trying to survive. And sometimes, to awaken awareness, we must first touch instinct, not to glorify it, but to keep from being ruled by it in silence. Perhaps the most dangerous persuasion is not speaking to instinct, but pretending instinct does not exist.